In today's show, Scoot Henderson's got all the star qualities you could possibly want. Plus, the Blazers improved to 3-1 at Summer League. Welcome to Locked On Blazers. Let's get into it.
You are Locked On Trailblazers, your daily Portland Trailblazers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What up, world? It's your past first point guard and Trailblazers reporter, Mike Richmond. You're listening to another episode of Locked On Blazers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Available wherever you get podcasts and also on YouTube. Thanks for making the show your first listen. Coming at you Monday through Friday, free on all platforms. So make it a part of your daily routine. Make it your first listen. Tell your friends to do the same. It's Locked On Blazers, your team every day. In today's show, we're talking Scoot Henderson star qualities. Scoot gave Blazers probably the best 7 minutes of unbridled joy and enjoyment that they've had in months. I want to talk about that and why I think it matters for the future of this franchise. A thing he did while not playing. Blazers did indeed play. We'll talk about their game in the second segment. They improved to 3-1 in Summer League, and I think we saw some growth from some guys who are going to be on the team in the fall. And then we're going to send you into the weekend with the latest Damian Lillard rumblings. I guess in some ways, we just got to talk about it. We got to talk about it. I too am worn out by the Dame drama, but it's what we need to do here. It's my responsibility to not sort of neglect the news, and that is in full quotes. Let's talk about fun stuff before we talk about the drama. Scoot Henderson is a star. He's going to be a good basketball player. But during a first half interview on the ESPN2 broadcast of the Blazers Summer League game against the Orlando Magic, which they won handily, Scoot Henderson they give him a headset and he sits on the bench, or in his case, stands on the bench. And he did about a 7.5 minute television interview for maybe in the second quarter. And I think it was about the most entertaining, most joyful 7 minutes that Blazers fans have had in a long time. I am linking it in the episode description for this episode. Shout out to Kay's Kid on Reddit who ripped the video. Kay's, if you hear this or someone sends it to you, send me an email, lockedonblazerspod@gmail.com, and I will send you a Robert Covington basketball card for your struggles. Appreciate it. The interview, which you should watch after you watch this entire episode all the way through to the very last second, click on that video and watch the interview. Or click on it, come back, watch my show, please. If you're on YouTube, if you're an audio listener, you can follow that YouTube link and make it happen yourself. It's really just fun stuff. Because Scoot Henderson is answering questions, and it's kind of like the run-of-the-mill, like, how'd you get the name Scoot? What was it like to be drafted? What'd you think about your experience in Summer League, right? It's the kind of questions you ask when you are trying to cover the entire league, and it's not even the actual NBA, it's the fake NBA. It's like, 30 teams with each of them have 3 NBA players on it, and then a whole collection of dudes you've never known. And most of them are Scoot, who's played very little time on a professional court. Actually, he's played a bunch, but like in an NBA court. So it's not that these questions are like super enlightening. How'd you get the name Scoot? He scooted around as a kid. What was it like to get drafted? It was the best night of my life. It's so cool. And my family was there and it was so special. Those answers are really are fun to hear Scoot answer. But what makes it special is that Scoot, I talked about in yesterday's show that he basically spends the entire game standing. He's really engaged. And when they come over, he agrees to do the interview, they put the headset on, he sits down, and they kind of joke like, this is the first time you've been sitting. He's like, yeah, I try to get my teammates in it. And then about a minute into the interview, he can't keep sitting and he has to stand up, and he is just yelling commentary to his teammates on the court as they go on like a 20 to something run to just annihilate annihilate the Magic in the first half. Magic playing without their two lottery picks. They did not win a game in Vegas. They're getting to the end, and the Blazers beat the snot out of them. And Scoot was enjoying it. He's yelling for Ryan Rupert for cookies, getting a steal at midcourt. Let's go, Roops. He's yelling for Duop Reath making a 3-pointer and getting a rebound in traffic. He's yelling for Shaedon Sharp with a really good contest. And then what I love, he's yelling Shaedon sprint, 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 which is go run in transition. Like he's coaching him up. He is celebrating his guys. He's celebrating Justin Minaya making hustle plays. He's celebrating nice plays by Michael DeVoe, the Blazers Summer League point guard. Like he's truly enjoying it. They ask him a question. He's interrupting their question just to yell and continue to be a teammate and have fun and love basketball. And then comes back, oh yeah, my dad called me Scoot because I scooted around. He's really funny with nicknames. I got a sister named Moochie. He's really good at them, and they stick when we get them. This was, to me, just like joyful, right? Like I love basketball, and I'm very pro joy. If you're a new listener to the podcast, joy is a big theme of Locked On Blazers. Very pro joy. When something is fun, you should say, this is fun, and you should sit with it a while, because fun is fleeting. Life and enjoyment are fleeting. Sit with the fun stuff. This was fun 7 minutes with Scoot. But it made me think of what's next for the Blazers. They're caught in this whirlwind of a franchise icon who's kind of holding them in a semi-hostage situation to trade him away from the team after 11 years, only one destination, kind of tanking his trade value, all the mess, right? Like you follow the team, you know what's going on. And I think that is tough as a fan. I know that it's tough, right? Like it's tough. But whether you're desperately hoping that Dame stays, whether you're just like get it over with, or whether you're somewhere in the middle, like hold him out until you get the best package. Like no matter which of the three camps you go into, you're probably tired of the drama. Well, Scoot gave you 7 minutes away from the drama. And more than that, he's 19 years old. He has the skills, the soft skills, to be a franchise leader. Because part of leading a team is being really good. You need to be the best player or darn close to it, right? Or you need to have played in the league like 20 years, like Udonis Haslem, right? But if you're sort of in that mix, right, you need to be one of the best players in the team. That's how your voice gets heard. You are vocal because you deliver on the court. You can't be bad and talk, and you have to play. You can't unless you're like the UD type. It's rare. Scoot has the ability to be the best player on the team. I'm not 100% sure he will be that with Jeremy Grant on the team his rookie season. And who knows when he assumes that mantle, because Anthony Simons is also a very good basketball player. But at some point in the next couple of years, Scoot Henderson is going to be the best player in the Blazers. I'm pretty comfortable saying that, unless Shaedon Sharp takes a big leap. But guess what? Shaedon Sharp is not cut out. He does not have the soft skills or the personality to be a leader of a team. Not only the sort of vocal yelling, hey, go here stuff, but the part of being an NBA leader is assuming being the voice, like the literal voice of the team. So that means when stuff goes wrong, you go in the locker room and nobody wants to talk, and they're all hiding in the shower, hiding in the back in the film room in the Blazers case, like wherever they might be. You stand in front of your locker, you answer questions. It's what separated Brandon Roy from LaMarcus Aldridge early in this sort of that partnership. It's what eventually separated Dame from LaMarcus Aldridge, is that Dame had the soft skills to be kind of that franchise guy. I think in some ways is why their relationship kind of bristled a little bit, because Damian Lillard had the skills as a youngster. Scoot has that vibe. He has those skills. He has the aura and the ability to he just has star qualities. He has absolute star qualities. He's like played Romeo Travis in the LeBron James biopic, something I learned in that interview. Like the dude is he was born to do this. He was born to be pro at 17 and go and be in front of the camera and be the face. Like whatever happens with Dame and whatever however this is settled. If it's not settled till February and it's like really gross. Whenever the transition happens, Jeremy Grant will be the leader because he's going to because of his age and his skills. But Scoot Henderson is eventually in the near future ready to assume the mantle of franchise icon because he has the soft skills of it. you got to be really good to be like a franchise, like icon is maybe a 2-word, and franchise pillar, but like the guy. He's ready to be the guy because he has the skills, the requisite skills, both on the court and off the court, to be the guy. And he has this effervescent charisma that is just like, it's a it factor, right? Like, it's just like a thing that made Dame early in his career was like, oh man, this young man is compelling. But in the way that Dame was like steely, cool, and professional, Scoot is bubbly and goofy and just like, they're very different personalities, but have very similar sort of overall affect to them. The Blazers are going to be in good hands. Scoot Henderson is a star. He's going to be a star. I feel I really came away from this game feeling better about Scoot Henderson and the Blazers than I have all summer. And I've been pretty high on Scoot. Like, I think he's going to be really good as a basketball player. And I came away from that moment in the second quarter, that interview in the second quarter, like, okay, this was the most fun it's been to be a Blazer fan in weeks. This team is in good hands. This franchise is in good hands. And whenever they settle the mess, they're headed in the right direction with a guy who's totally capable of being the next dude. Okay, let's talk about the game a little bit. I thought Shaedon Sharpe, he didn't even have to play in the second half because they were so dominant, and he had a really nice first half. I thought Ryan Rupert and Ibu Baji both played their best games for the Blazers in Summer League. Let's talk about all of that in the second segment. Before we get there, let me tell you about Bird Dogs. They're comfortable shorts. They make you look good. They're stretchy, and they kind of fit your legs with that sculpted look. They're not boxy and wide-legged like your average shorts. Like, if you're rocking the cargo shorts that make you look like you're from a 2002 rap video, why not check out Bird Dogs? Because they make shorts that don't have that giant pant leg that makes you look like you're in a 2002 rap video, part of the No Limit gang. Instead, you just look like someone who's wearing comfortable and versatile shorts. It's got cloud knit fabric, looks like khaki but feels like athletic shorts, plus anti-stink sweat wicking fabric that keeps you cool and dry all day long. So go to birddogs.com/LockedOnNBA. Enter the promo code LockedOnNBA or enter the promo code LockedOnNBA for a free Yeti style tumbler. That's birddogs.com/LockedOnNBA or promo code LockedOnNBA for a free Yeti style tumbler. You won't want to take your Bird Dogs off, I promise you. All right. Let's talk about this basketball game. Scoot was the highlight for me, but the Blazers played a game, and it was an absolute beatdown, and they rolled. I'm telling you, rolled in this one. It was 45-19 at halftime, and when they came back from the second half, Shaedon Sharpe was on the bench. The camera was on him like, this dude's done. Sharpe had 12 points. It wasn't like he had 30 in the first half, and they're like, get him out of here. But the Blazers were so dominant during the second quarter specifically that the game was over and the Blazers could just rest their, Shaedon Sharpe's going to play a cajillion games for the Blazers this year, a whole bunch of minutes. You did your thing. We do not need to see any more. Let's see some other folks try their hand at this and just no more risking it health-wise or just even like the minorest hiccup because we are smoking this team. I thought Sharpe did a good job in this game of getting himself into the paint. He smoked a wide open layup early in this one, and it's like, oh man, come on, Shea. But, got himself into the paint, scored to the rim, hit a three from Damian Lillard, 37-foot range, which wasn't even that late in the shot clock. He shot it kind of early just because he felt it was feeling good and had rhythm. I thought he was just, they were playing really tough defense on him. Like, they're for sure sitting on his right hand, trying to send him left. Like, all the things I talked about in yesterday's show, it's like, believe it or not, NBA teams are much better at scouting players than some doofus in his basement. But like, they were getting up into him and getting after it. And Shaedon Sharpe did a good job of getting out in transition so he could score early, score on the move, score before defense got set, get himself into the paint. When he was getting pressure, running dribble handoffs or just getting off the ball and not over dribbling or pulling the ball back out and killing clock. Like, I thought he just played well. He just played a smart, solid game. It's what you want to see from him, right? It's like, I guess what you want to see is him score like 35 and be the best player on the court and like, do the MJ shrug after hitting 6 threes. But short of that, just like, hadn't had a bunch of really good minutes in Summer League, came out and played a focused, solid first half. They dominated. I thought he played, he was just good. And they said, cool, sit. So what you want to see from Shea. And the Blazers play one more game after this. More on that in a moment. Will he play? Kind of doubt it. I think that half may have been the last of Shaedon Sharpe's Vegas experience. So, maybe go back and rewatch it, soak it up. Two young players played really solid games for the Blazers. I thought Ibubaji played the best game he had in summer, and I thought Ryan Rupert probably played the best game he had in the summer. Let's talk about Rupert first. Roops, as they call him, just, he's billed as this dude who's going to be an on-ball defensive menace, right? He's going to be just lock folks up on defense. And I thought he was really good at that. Like, he showed flashes of that this week, but I think in this game it's like truly pressuring the ball. Got out and got 2 steals, one that led to an open dunk, and Scoot Henderson yelling cookies on the broadcast. That's when you steal the ball from someone in the open court, near midcourt, typically. Cookies. He got a steal. He got another pressure on the sidelines where he knocked the ball away. Like, his length is real, and he has real defensive want to. Defense is not all effort, despite what your high school coach may have told you. There's a real skill to it, but there is a level of effort requisite to be a good defender, and the required effort is there for Rupert. Like, he gets after it and wants to play defense, and the want to is there, and the skill set is there, the length is there. Like, he's I don't know that he has a real role. I mean, he might. The Blazers might, like, I say this with love, they might be the worst team in the NBA next year. So, like, he might play a lot. We'll see. But I do not think he'll be a regular part of the rotation early in the season. I just don't think he's good enough to be counted on. And the Blazers have vets. Like, Matisse Thybulle's just like a better version of him. And then Jeremy Grant's still going to play, and Nurk is on the team. Damian Lillard's still in the roster for now. If they do make a trade, they're going to bring in other NBA players who are, like, probably capable of playing. I don't think Rupert plays. But to see him get better through Summer League and in Game 4 be significantly better than he was in Game 1 is the whole point of the process. That's why you're there. That's why you're playing games. That's why you're watching film. That's why you're talking coaches. That's why you spend a week. It's why Summer League has value to teams. So they can get a second-round pick in there who's like, okay, here's what you do well. Here's what you don't do well. Let's cut out some of the stuff that you're incapable of. Let's focus on what you can really do well. And how about when you get out there, show us your best stuff. If you're really good pressuring the ball, we're going to give you point of attack assignments where you're guarding the point guard, you're guarding the guy who brings it up across half court, and just go get him. Like, go make his day terrible. And I thought Rupert did a really good job of making folks' days terrible. His best game of the summer. I enjoyed him. I was thinking of comps for him. He reminds me of is he like a longer Andre Roberson? Anybody like that? Like that, email me, lockdownblazerspod@gmail.com. If you have a better comp for Rupert, hit me up. It's like defensive ace with very little offensive production. I thought Thabo Sefolosha, but I think that sells Tabo's offensive game a little bit short. Ibubaji, I thought he played his best game. Had a couple dunks early, just like getting to the rim, rolling to the rim. I talked about that early in the Vegas week. It was just like, if he could roll to the rim and jump up to 11 feet, he could score easy points. He did that a couple times. Blocked a couple shots. They played like a really aggressive drop against the Magic. The Magic were not playing. They did not play Jet Howard. Did not play Anthony Black. They're 2 lottery picks. Those dudes are shut down for the week. And the Blazers were playing their centers like below the foul line on pick and rolls that were set at the 3-point line. So like, I don't know, 7.5 feet below the screen, like way back there in the paint. And Baji just. He controlled the paint. He locked it down. He did not leave. He said, call 3 seconds on me. I'm not leaving the paint. Had a couple big blocks where he's just like, I'm standing here playing center field. If you come at me, I'm gigantic. He's not very fast laterally. So like, that's where his skill set is going to be. I thought he played well there. And for me, he threw 2 of the best passes that he's thrown all week. I mentioned yesterday that I thought my favorite play of him on offense all week long was when he caught it in the short roll at the foul line and kicked it to the opposite corner. Catch, see it, kick it. Like, just quick decision making. He had 2 slow decision making, great passes today. He had a third really also nice pass inside for an assist, but like 2 just like high level reads. One where he's like foul line extended, not going at 3-point line, but like foul line extended, and just threw a little back cut to Shea. Shaedon Sharpe caught it, finished at the rim on the left side. Just a good, nice pass to a cutter. Solid look, solid read. Your guy's playing off you. You have passing lanes if you don't pressure the ball. I thought it was just like a solid pass. And then he had a skip to Jabari Walker in the opposite corner where he caught it. maybe halfway down on the block, and just threw a hook skip to the opposite corner. So he's on the left side of the paint. Jabari Walker's in the right-hand corner, and he throws it cross-court to Jabari in the corner. Jabari missed the shot, but like a center who can catch in the post and throw opposite with one hand, I didn't know Badji could do that. I had no idea. I am learning his game along with you. And to me, that was a straight up really good play. I didn't know he had that in him. And then he had a nice interior pass inside. I believe it was Jabari Walker. It's in my notes as Jabari Walker, but you never know in Summer League. I may have just straight up got the number wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was Jabari, where he caught it inside and the defense came and he just kind of lobbed it over the top with his size, like just nice little touch pass, not too, didn't throw it too soft so Jabari got blocked, didn't throw it too hard so it was uncatchable, just nice little turn, dump in pass from one block to the other. Badji doesn't have much offense. He had a weird turnover where he just tried to do too many things, up and under, spinning pivot. He's taking jumpers yesterday that I'm not sure are part of his arsenal. But if he can block shots and make the right passes and right decisions, and these are like better than just right decisions, these are kind of high level passing, then he's got some stuff, and you can mold some stuff into some other stuff, and he can be a player down the line. Much like Rupert, it's like you want to see these dudes be, if they're really bad in game 1, you want them to see much better in game 4. This was the best, to me, that Badji has played. It's the point of Summer League. Get excited. Or don't. You don't have to get excited about this stuff, but if you're looking for development, it's right there in front of you. In a week in Vegas, these guys are better than when they got there, which is, believe it or not, the comfort of playing a bunch of real minutes, organized basketball minutes, helped young players play. It's, again, the value of the exercise. The Blazers are going to play one more game. By my math, they are not going to be involved in the Summer League tournament. Cleveland and Houston are in. They're both 4-0. Utah's 3-0 and plays tomorrow. And Brooklyn is 3-1 with a +10 differential. The Blazers plus 6.8 differential after a 19-point victory over the Magic, in which they were 45-19 at halftime. They had a chance to just keep Shaden Sharp in there and make the championship or make the semifinals. The top 4 teams, either based on record, and then if you have the same record, it's point differential is for multiple teams tied. It's only head to head if you have the same. If there's a single team tiebreaker, but it's going to be multi-team tiebreakers because a bunch of teams are going to win 3-1. I do not think, and I'm recording this at 8:30 on a Thursday. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I think the Blazers are not in the semifinals. They're going to play one more game at Summer League, and we will. It'll be over the weekend. We haven't announced it yet, Saturday or Sunday. They played Thursday, so I assume it will be a Saturday game. Guess where you'll find the coverage of their final Summer League game? Right here on Locked On Blazers. Okay, to close the show, I want to talk about Damian Lillard. Look, we made it almost 25 minutes without bringing him up. At least the trade stuff up. I kind of mentioned it. Whoops. Let's talk about the latest rumblings that have national reporters and those types have written about after a week in Vegas with the entire league. But first, let me tell you about FanDuel. Why don't you take your first swing betting on MLB at FanDuel and get 10 times your first bet amount in bonus bets up to $200. The MLB second half starts today, Friday, July 14th, as you're listening to this. So why not bet $20 and you'll land $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. That's $200 you can spend on betting everything from the money line to over-under to who's going to hit the first home run to nerfies to yerfies if you're really all about it in MLB betting. That's all on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Plus, when you win, you get paid instantly. There's no better place to bet on MLB than FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. So sign up today. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn to get $200 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com/LockedOn. FanDuel, official partner of MLB. Still a pass first point guard. Still Mike Richmond. You still listen to Locked On Blazers. We're going to close the show with Dame rumblings. If you stuck around for the rumblings, I'm going to bring them to you. The reporting from Vegas mostly mirrors the public comments from Joe Cronin. Believe it or not, when Joe Cronin says, I'm going to be patient, right there out in front of you, and to the folks that say, hey, I'm going to be, this is Joe Cronin talking on the microphone. We're going to be patient. If it takes months, it takes months. Well, the folks that are hearing things that are not in the microphone suggest that, yeah, that sounds like what the Blazers' plan is. The sort of rumblings from Ramona Shelburne of ESPN and Sam Amick of The Athletic suggest that, indeed, The Blazers are willing to be patient. They're willing to, they are even comfortable going into training camp and just figuring out what Damian Lillard wants to do. Does he want to play? Does he want to not report? Like what kind of? I think Dame would play. Like he doesn't strike me as wired that he would like full James Harden it. But we'll see. And if he's healthy and reports, the precedent has been set with Anthony Davis. If you're there, you got to play at least some of the games each week. And that's kind of how the Pelicans did it during that messy situation. I hope it doesn't come to that. What a terrible way for the sort of Damian Lillard relationship to end with the Blazers. Yeah, it stinks. It stinks for everybody. But the reporting from Amick at The Athletic and Ramona Shelburne at ESPN is that the Blazers are indeed comfortable being patient. And from Shelburne specifically, patient means training camp if it comes to that. Jake Fisher over at Yahoo Sports reported something pretty similar, that the Blazers are going to indeed take their time and that some of and they're willing to do so. Real quick on that. There's more. Jake Fisher actually has some like real nuts and bolts stuff that we'll get to close the show, but patience has to mean more than 2 weeks. Damian Lillard requested a trade on July 1st. And while I think it's totally reasonable to think if the Blazers wanted to agree to a trade with the Miami Heat, they know what the deal is. Both sides know what the deal is. Like the Heat know what the best version of their offer is. The Blazers know what the best version of a Heat offer is. Like it would take a few hours, right? Like they could contact each other about 9 a.m. and then by the end of the day, they could get a deal done. Like if they wanted to get it done. So like obviously it could have been done on July 1st, but like there's more moving parts than that. There's likely 3, if not 4 teams going to be involved in a trade, even if Dame, and I think it's still the most likely scenario, ends up in Miami. But patience has to mean more than 12 days. Like I'm recording this on the evening of July 13th. You're listening again to Friday, July 14th show. Thank you for listening. It's not even 2 full weeks since Damian Lillard requested a trade. And the way the like 24-hour news cycle is like, they're going to be patient. They're willing to wait 2 weeks. Like it feels like forever. It feels like forever to me. Like it legitimately feels like forever to me. I'm not saying that I'm like immune to this by any means. It's just like the language, like the Blazers are holding out. They're holding out forever. It's like they haven't even spent 2 weeks like playing hardball. It's just like if Jaime Jaquez from the Miami Heat is involved, he can't even be traded till July 30th because he signed a contract and you got to wait 30 days as a rookie after you sign your contract to be traded. Ask Andrew Wiggins. He played in summer league for the Cavs before he got traded to the Wolves. Like patience means like December. This is just like the process of trading one of the best players in the history of your franchise and one of the best players in the NBA. Damian Lillard was one of the 10 best players in the league last year. If trading him even to his preferred destination takes 3 weeks, is that really patience? Or is that just how the process goes? I think we've become obsessed with immediate action a little bit. But the way we're going to get immediate action is a reporting from Jake Fisher, who says one of the teams that might be interested in Tyler Hero is the Utah Jazz. And if you're the Trailblazers, that's good news. It's good news. It's good news. I don't think, there was my man Sean Woodley of Locked On Raptors has been pushing an idea of trading Dame to the Toronto Raptors for a package that includes Scotty Barnes, and he's been pushing that for more than a month. I checked his Twitter feed; he's been on it for more than a month. And it came out of their story in the Ringer today that offered a very similar package to the one Sean Woodley has been slinging on the internet. If that were to come about, that's a whole different thing. I'm not sure it's going to come about. There's been some ideas that you could trade Damian Lillard to the New Orleans Pelicans. Truly do not understand why the Pelicans would want to reunite Dame and CJ. Just one of the most bizarre, sort of like not particularly well thought out trade things ever. But if they want to do it, sure. Get Brandon Ingram, sure. Totally different conversation. I just don't think those types of deals are going to materialize. The Blazers would have no interest in Karl Anthony Towns. His contract is brutal. I don't think if another Magic team comes around, not the Magic, but if another if the unicorn appears, take the unicorn deal. I've talked about this a bunch. But the most likely scenario is that the Blazers find a palatable way to trade Damian Lillard to the Miami Heat. And the way that it would be palatable is finding a third team who's truly interested and values Tyler Hero and is able to offer a first-round pick and something else. If something else is just a future second, sure, take it. If something else is like a future protected first-round pick, take it too, right? Like stuff. Because if the Heat go all in, their offer is 3 picks. You get Jaquez, you get maybe Nikola Jovic, you get, you take on Duncan Robinson to make the money work. You take on, you ship Tyler Hero to a third team, and it's Utah. You're talking, upwards of 4 firsts, 2 young players that aren't like high upside players. But again, are those deals going to materialize? If you think they are, hold out, sure. But it seems relatively unlikely to me. So the reporting from Jake Fisher that Utah at least has some interest in Tyler Hero, I think it's a good thing for Blazer fans, because the Utah Jazz have 10 first-round picks to trade between the 2024 draft and the 2027 draft. That's 10 first-round picks over the next 4 drafts. They can afford to just give you one. They might not because it's Danny freaking Ainge, but they literally can't make all of those picks. At some point, they need to trade or turn those picks into like several of those picks into one player, right? Is Tyler Hero worth 2 firsts? If he is, boy, jump at it. If he's not, take what you can get. And if you find a suitor like Utah, that's sort of the perfect suitor. They got space to take Hero on without having to send back onerous money in the other direction. And they have a boatload of picks. It's kind of the perfect scenario. If Fisher is right, and Fisher is usually really good, I will say, at reporting like how a deal gets made. He's really good at that part of it. He's maybe not going to get the first tweet out when the deal is like finalized, but Jake seems to consistently have the kind of like building blocks to a deal in his reporting. He's really good at it. I trust his reporting, I guess explicitly now that I've said it on the podcast. That's the latest Dame rumblings. The Blazers are going to be patient, and Utah might be interested in Tyler Hero. I still think the most likely scenario is Damian Lillard gets traded to the Miami Heat sometime in August. I'll tell you what. I have a vacation planned for the first full weekend in August. That's when it's going to happen. Your boy's going to be out there with no internet, no Wi-Fi, and they're going to trade Dame. It's going to be the biggest day in Blazer land, and I don't know, since 1995 when Clyde got traded or whatever. I guess they made the Western Conference Finals in 2000. The biggest, in 25 years or whatever, the biggest day in Blazers history in 25 years. And it's like, oh yeah, I'll be back on Wednesday. Whoops. That's when he's going to get traded. I still think it's the most likely scenario. The Blazers can hold out. They can hold out for a better deal. I'm not sure that deal materializes. We will see. They're going to be patient, which means waiting 3 whole weeks or more. Thanks for being patient with me and waiting for the third segment of this program to listen to the latest Dame rumblings. I appreciate you. More shows next week. We do 5 of them, Monday through Friday. Tell your friends about the podcast. I appreciate you listening. I'll talk to you soon.